Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura, aka PURPLEXEDQT. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Welcome members, Patreons, subs, everyone in between, former, future, and that's it. And don't forget, hit that thumbs up because you really help support the channel. And that's all I'm going to say right now. All right. So much to say. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm going to start with the beginning. I know more things are going to come to me as time goes on. So first thing I want to start out with is a comment that Verika made earlier. And I think it kind of sums up everything. She says, you have a serious interest drive for crime and asking questions. Why, though, when things don't seem right? That is why conspiracy theories with me stand out, because I don't always believe what I see. I agree with that. And I'm okay with people asking questions. It doesn't put a danger in anybody's life to ask questions. Asking questions only produce answers. And I'm a big believer in education is the key to finding out all the answers. But there comes a certain point of speculation or conspiracy theories that crosses a line. And what I mean by that is, these families are mourning a child. The worst possible thing that could ever happen to another human being is losing a child. We think losing a parent is hard, losing a loved one is hard, losing a best friend is hard, but there is nothing more life-changing than losing a child. It is something that I hope I never, ever have to know. But I have had friends, one very recent, who lost an adult daughter. And she told me, my life will never be the same. I will never, ever be the same after this. And I understand that. But it's not something that I ever want to know firsthand. But it is the worst thing that could ever happen to a mother, a father. I don't want to make this, a mom thing. I'll say a mother or a father. Or a twin, for that matter, losing their other half. The one that just lost one happens to be a twin. That's why I thought of it, not my twins. So, one of them lost a child a year ago. One of them lost a child within the last couple of weeks. Stop degrading the families. Stop putting these families through pain again and again and again and again. We know Gabby Petito's family is active on social media. They post about her all the time. The stuff that came out today, I laughed when I saw it that Ryan put it out, like, that's comical. But then I saw the string of events that followed. And what I saw actually made me want to go live. There was somebody, and people got mad at me for saying something last night, but there was somebody who took this ridiculous joke of a picture that Ryan put up, and she was analyzing down to the teeth, literally analyzing these two pictures. If that was your daughter, how would you feel? If that was your daughter, and a year later, somebody is sitting there analyzing to make sure the teeth match or don't match, or the eye sockets match or don't match. This is somebody's daughter. This is not a game. This is not the police. Freedom of speech comes at a price. Go tell a judge to go fuck himself and you're going to end up in jail. Even if you did nothing wrong, you're going to end up in jail. Why? Because you can't speak to a cop like that. I mean, a judge like that. You just can't. So you certainly can't speak to people who are mourning a family and just throw stuff out there and say, oh, your daughter's still alive. She looks like this one. If the Petito saw that, or I forgot the other family's name, the one she's married to, or she's married to. I forgot their name. Don't hate me. But we'll just say the Petitos. If either set of parents for the Petitos see that, that just brings up a whole new slew of feelings. It just brings up a whole new rundown of emotions that they don't deserve. They don't deserve to have to feel hurt because someone decides to do facial recognition of someone who, with the naked eye, you can see looks nothing like them. You know, speculation is maybe the cops are involved. That's speculation. Maybe the FBI is doing a cover-up. That's speculation. Speculation is not putting out there a dead child, a 22-year-old child, and lining it up with somebody else. And that goes for Brian, too. They did the same thing with Brian. Again, if you think it through, it makes absolutely no sense why there was this big cover-up and these parents are crying for no reason and the cops are involved and this one's involved. In true crime, you have to follow through. You can't just throw something out there and it sticks and you don't follow through. You have no way to follow it through. No, that's not crime. You have to follow it through. You have to have a who, what, when, where, why, or how. And when you can't put the who, what, when, where, why, or how, guess what? You are left with nothing. Then you don't have a conspiracy and you don't have anything. Because you have to be able to do the who, what, when, where, why, or how. And if you can't, move on to the next theory. So to say that, 5 different states are involved with Gabby or Brian and, everything that they've done and all the work, all the manpower and money that they put behind finding both of them. All of this has to be a lie. All of this has to be fake for Brian and Gabby to still be alive. What the fuck is wrong with you people? It's bad enough that it was put out there. And what's even worse, and honestly, the only person that gets a pass right now is Iktamel, and that's because he's on vacation. But where are all the creators that made money off Gabby Petito? Where are all the creators that made money following Brian Laundrie? Why aren't they sticking up for Gabby's family? Why am I like the only one that's gone live about this all day? Where have we lost it here? Has the whole fucking true crime community taken too many stupid pills? I heard someone's Discord is blowing up with the biggest bullshit I've ever heard. What's wrong? Why are we here? Like, physically, how did we get here and why are we here? Now we're saying that this one's not alive. I mean, this one's still alive and this is a conspiracy and this one must be alive. I'm sorry, I will never entertain this stuff that's going to hurt a family who lost a child. Nobody should. And I can't believe how many people will not stand up for Gabby's family. I see people standing up for Kiely's family, but sort of, but none of the big creators. Where's all the big creators? Where's your MGLs? Where's your 10 to Lifes? Where's your Stephanie Harlow's? Where's all the bigger creators? Why are they saying nothing? Duty Ron, he went to the memorial for Gabby. Why isn't he saying anything? Are people too scared to fucking speak up against Ryan Upchurch? Believe me, I will stand by Ryan when he's right, and I will call out the bullshit when he's wrong. I'm not going to placate him. I'm not going to say, oh, well, this is okay, or maybe Ryan. No. Come on, people. Wake the fuck up. And maybe I'm just a tiny little channel with 18,000 subscribers, but you know what? At least my channel, people don't have to put on a front. They're not placating people. They're not just being nice to people because they're famous. We'll call out the bullshit, and you know what? I'm very happy to do that. But it makes me sick that I don't see one big creator going live over this. Not one creator who made money off Gabby Petito is opening up their mouth. And I don't understand why. I don't. I truly, truly don't. This is wrong on so many fucking levels. So wrong. Now, let's move into, that's what I want to say about Gabby. And I'm sorry I'm not reading chat. When I go on rants, I don't read chat. Especially when I'm on camera. So, let's add to this. Kiely. Now we have Kiely. Not every creator is discussing Kiely. Not every creator is into this case. Like, Gray walked away a long time ago. But I see a handful of creators, and I'm one of the smallest ones, that are knee deep in this case. And I have heard some whacked out stuff since this case started. People ask me why I didn't stick up for Zanime, or why didn't I stick up for Ikmel, which I did stick up for Ikmel left and right. But, again, Popcorn Planet, how come they're not sticking up for Gabby? Why aren't they saying anything about Gabby? They're following Ryan. Why aren't they saying anything? Why aren't they sticking up for the Petitos? Because you might say, oh, it's ludicrous. Nobody takes it seriously. Okay, gotcha. But then you have channels that are taking it seriously. Then you have people all so far up fucking Ryan's ass they could touch his tonsils and agreeing with it. You saw it on Dolly last night where they're like agreeing with it. Like, oh, maybe. Come on. You can separate if you like Ryan or you like his music or you like his personality. Separate the two. This is wrong. This is right. But if you should be embarrassed if you don't know how to separate it. Like, honestly, totally separate the two. Ryan is hurting innocent dead people. And I say it like that because, you know, when he goes after Ikmel, he goes after Zanime, they're alive. They can speak up for themselves. They can fight with him. They can talk back to him. They can say, you know, oh, Ryan's crazy. He's out of his mind. Because they're alive. They can do that. But guess what? Kiely has no voice. Gabby has no voice. Brian Laundrie has no voice. They don't have a voice to stick up for themselves. And isn't that what we do as true crime? Isn't that what we're supposed to do? Is stick up, have a voice for those who can't speak? So this is how everybody thanks them, by just going with it. Let's just say nothing. Let's not mention his name. Let's just allow the little people to come up with these crazy theories centered around what Ryan does. Hey, why not? I don't want to lose any followers. Who cares that I made thousands of dollars off Gabby Petito? That case is over. Why should I stick up for her now? Hello? Because you stick up for what's right. Plain and simple. And we're going through the same thing with Kiely. And I'll explain this again in case anyone missed it, because it seems a lot of people missed it. Again, the who, what, when, where, why, or how. If Gabby was phony and this was all a big conspiracy, there are at least 500 people that are involved in this conspiracy. Do you ever play game telephone? There's no way in hell that 500 people, and from law enforcement agents down to AWP, that would be involved in this conspiracy. It has been confirmed that Kiely is the one that was deceased in the back of the car. It's been confirmed by AWP that that is who they saw, that she wasn't that decomposed. People talk about the 65-degree weather. That's the top layer. That's not all the way at the bottom of the lake. She was more preserved because it was at the bottom of the lake. So people saying that she was too decomposed or they didn't know it was her, at the end of the day, this is still a 16-year-old girl who lost her life. Whether it happened accidentally, whether it happened murder, Understandable. That's stuff you speculate on. Speculate on, was it murder? Speculate on, was it an accident? All that is perfect speculation. Speculate if cops are involved. Speculate if FBI is involved. Speculate if the fucking friends are involved. No problem with that. But how dare you speculate that she's alive? That is irresponsible. It's disgusting. And it is beyond trolling. It is sick. Absolutely sick. And this goes for SF Investigates too, who I strongly believe is involved in some of this trolling of what's being said. Put yourself in that parent's position. They just lost a 16-year-old child, their only daughter, their oldest daughter, and their only daughter, whose birthday was coming up. And she's gone. Do you think they want to turn on Facebook, Instagram, and see, oh, look, this is her? No, they don't. And maybe if you're not a kid, maybe if you're not a parent, you see things differently, but ask your mom how she would feel. Ask any parent how they would feel. You know, I've already disproven the teeth thing. She had invisible braces. It was clear as day. Literally clear as day. There's no photoshopping going on. There's nobody trying to mess with the pictures. She had invisible braces and it looked like rubber bands. I heard something else today that, honestly, even the creator was taken back at the stupidity. Because people speak before they think. Which I'm known to do sometimes, don't get me wrong. But I was listening real quickly to a creator who had an open panel. And someone comes on, dead serious, not even joking, dead serious, and says, well, I think because she wasn't decomposed that she was placed in the car after the car was down there. What? So in her mind, someone dragged a dead body 14 feet under in the lake, opened the hatchback, put a body in, and then closed it all underwater. Do you realize how fucking stupid that is? That is damn near impossible. To open up a hatchback, put a body in, close it, okay. Damn near impossible. And even the creator, whose panel it was like, okay, I personally would have called that out in a second. I would have been like, are you really this fucking dumb? But they have 70,000 subscribers. I only have 18. Maybe they're doing something right and I'm not. But I just couldn't believe that this person said that. And this is what you see in a lot of panels. It's what you see over and over and over and over again. People they just don't think before they put their theories together. They're not using a brain to think, okay, if Kiely was alive, who's involved? People don't understand when I say stuff about AWP being involved. All right, let me explain this since it seems to not be understood right. All right. In order for Kiely to be alive, AWP would have to be lying. So if you believe AWP and you believe that AWP is legit, then you can't conclude that Kiely is alive. The two don't work. Because if Kiely was alive, AWP would have to be involved in this conspiracy. So you can't say that you like AWP or that you believe AWP, but you think it's a conspiracy that Kiely's alive. They don't go hand in hand. People need to start putting the what's the word I'm looking for? Need to start using reality and the who, what, when, where, why's, or how when focusing on something, because you just can't have any other answer. AWP went down there. AWP saw this firsthand. I don't think they're lying. As a matter of fact, I would bet my entire life savings and then some, my next 10 life savings, that they're not involved in a conspiracy. I would bet my whole entire life that they're not lying. And I would bet my whole entire life that Nick saw Kiely in the back seat, in the trunk area, with her feet hitting up the window. She wasn't in a ball position in the back. How do I know this? Because it was on a video earlier. Someone did a really good video of Nick being down there, and he says her foot, her shoe is against the window. So it's possible she did float and then fell. I don't know. We don't know exactly how her body was, but I think a lot of us have in our minds that she was like crunched in a fetal position, which she wasn't. Her feet were against the window. So, yeah. But again, you just can't have this huge conspiracy with all these people involved. It doesn't work, and it doesn't add up, and there's no who, what, when, where, why's, or how's. And I just can't believe it just keeps getting worse. And it's okay if you're talking conspiracy at people that are still living. I could think of so many different avenues to go down without putting it at the expense of people that are mourning a child. I can't grasp that. You're going down roads that don't need to go down. People spending time analyzing the eyes of, this one girl from TikTok over Kiely's is insane. Or saying that the grandparents, this is 5 years ago. This shit is fucking insane. It's so insane that it's comical, but it's not comical because you're hurting families that are mourning. And I think that's where everyone is forgetting, and that's what people are forgetting. Like I said, you want to go after creators, you want to say this one's involved, that one's involved. Fine. They can stick up for themselves. Don't say that, Kylie's alive or Gabby's alive or you found her. It's ludicrous. They don't even fucking look alike. It's absolutely ludicrous. But you're not hurting someone that's dead. You're hurting their families that did nothing to deserve this. Nothing. And you might be hurting these innocent people's families. We're talking about minors. We're not talking about adults. Adults can handle themselves, but we're talking about minors. And it just don't understand why people are just allowing it. And like I said, it's frustrating that all these big creators, nobody's saying a word. Nobody's sticking up for Gabby. Nobody's sticking up for Kiely. Wake up, people. You made plenty of fucking money. Popcorn Planet, you made plenty of money off Gabby. Why aren't you sticking up for her? Honestly. Why not stand up to Ryan? And why not stand up to everybody? You got a lot of followers. I don't understand it. I don't. I just don't get it. I really, truly don't. And it's frustrating to me. It's aggravating to me that these people are not saying anything. But they go live all the time. So say something. Either can I, Phil, but say something. Like, you certainly, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel. These people made tons of money, so stick up for her. That's how I feel. Popcorn isn't, I don't know what that means. Popcorn isn't okay with Ryan. I don't get that. Oh, Popcorn Planet. All right, I gotcha. You know, I just, it's true. People care more about clicks and views and followers and clout than the truth. It's exactly right. So if they called him out, great. Yesterday they wouldn't even use his name. So there's that. She looks the same in her pictures? What are you talking about? Exactly. Pauly Socks, exactly. Lots of little new channels trying to cash into. I totally agree. I think so, Citizen, but that's what I'm saying. It's okay that he's trolling, but troll the right things. You want to say Ronnie and Zanime are related? That's fine. You want to say Ronnie, go down that rabbit hole, go right ahead. You want to even go after creators saying, you know, this one is connected to that, go right ahead. We're all adults and everybody can stand up for themselves. If you go after Molly, Molly can stand up for herself. You go after Justice, he can stand up for himself. Come after me, I can stand up for myself. But dead people can't stand up for themselves. That's why we're here. We're supposed to be here. So you want to go down a rabbit hole, the cops are guilty? Go right ahead. You want to go down a rabbit hole, the FBI is covering something up? Go right ahead. You want to go down a rabbit hole that this, and this? Go right ahead. Be my guest. Have fun with it. Blame everyone you want. But keep it away from the family. Keep it away from hurting innocent people that just lost somebody. And if you really, really don't believe that Gabby, Brian, Kiely are all gone, then you have screws loose. But don't troll at the expense of their families. That's not right. Don't troll at the expense of some innocent person on TikTok. That's not fair. They did nothing to you. They did nothing to anybody. But more importantly, if you do see this and people are doing this, don't go live analyzing what they said. You don't need to analyze what the fuck they say. You blow it off, you laugh, you blow it off. But you don't need to sit there and analyze the nose or the eyes. It's fucking, we all know Gabby is gone. We all know Brian is gone. Most of us believe Kiely is gone. From her family to her friends to AWP. Like I said, you can't have one without the other. You can't believe AWP and yet think, or not believe AWP and think that maybe they're up to something sketchy. No, they're not. So, that is pretty much everything that I wanted to go over. So, Brian, who faked a death? Tell me who faked a death that had their entire family involved and every cop. It's the game of telephone. It literally is the game of telephone. I'm also going to play something because I thought this guy was great. I agree with 99% of what he said. It was from Betty Butthead this morning. I'll probably get a strike for it, but I'll beat it. But it was just this first caller that called in. He was right on point. He said, I was listening to him and I was like, wow, this guy is on point. And you saw that he didn't want to say too much, but he didn't want to say too little. But it's actually really good. Thank you, Brian. Was it the repo guy? Charlene, do you know the family doesn't watch? Honestly, do you know who watches who? You don't think the family might watch Ryan? You don't think they're on YouTube? Are you out of your mind? You're completely ignorant if you don't think that family knows what's going on. The whole has 200 people watching. All right. Hang on.
Indicators, but yeah.
Lots of garden.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got a few people that have questions. I don't, is it okay that they come up here and maybe ask you some questions? Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Paceless Jones, if you could show me your face behind the, and then you can turn it back off and I'll bring you forward. Okay. Go ahead and turn your camera off. Okay, Mr. Jones, good morning. It's nice to see you. What do you have to, do you have a question for Ryan or just a statement?
I just have a statement, basically. I think that Ryan was dead on when he first started this whole thing and he went on Ikmel's channel. And I feel like I've said this and everyone thinks I'm a troll, but I believe it was an accident. I'm team accident all the way. I think that she has crappy so-called friends. She made a really bad decision. She could have even been impaired when she made that decision, which makes it even more.
Thank you, Harley. I've given you a very hard time the past 5 years, but big bite, you're doing an amazing job. Seriously, I'm agreeing with you more every day. Keep it up for these beautiful young ladies. Thank you so much, Harley.
Or plausible that she made that decision. Anyways, to get with it, then I feel like Ronnie called in to Ikmel. Ryan called in, it blew up. They're like, okay, we're going to milk this for all we can for clicks and views. And then the next guy's like, we're going to do it to the police department. It's like, look, we spent all this money, $500,000. Next year, they're going to get more funding because they're going to have to allocate more funds to that. All the policemen got all the overtime. And then you just keep on going. They keep throwing stories in here, like he was saying, dead ends here, dead ends there, because it's just bull crap stories. They're piling on. And I don't feel there could be like Ikmel, Santa May, and Ronnie all involved together. But then the police aren't involved in that. They're just getting overtime for their people. Then you got other YouTubers that are like, oh,
what if there is police involved?
Well, there could be. Yeah, no, there could be. Honestly, there could be all these people involved. But I'm saying it's different groups, and they're all jumping on trying to get their little piece of the money in the pie is what they're doing. I mean, it's so obvious, and I'm not saying anything, but YouTube is like that. People think, oh my, it is so huge. It's not. No one I know knows about this case. Like, if they're not on YouTube, they're looking at me like, I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? You know? And the other thing, and a lot of people get mad at me because when I say about AWP talking out of the side of their mouth, because they're like, we're the best. We do this for a living. But they let some random dude come in there and redirect where they're going to look for that little girl when they first got there. They didn't get there to the second day because that dude came out of nowhere and said, oh, no, I have this plausible story. And when you look at the video they did with that guy, they mislead, they embellished, we'll say, everything. So they're like, oh, you went there to meet the girl and see the car. And he's like, yeah. He didn't say it was a silver CRB. And then
he didn't describe it at all.
Yeah, they show a picture of the CRB. They're like, right. I saw a girl out there. Then they show a picture of Kiely. You know, it was all suggestive stuff, man. And I'm telling you, everybody's doing it. You can't blame them because they need money. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. They're doing great stuff. They're not the only ones doing this.
Right. I can attest to that.
There's many people out there doing search and rescue. I'm from Florida, too. I'm from the Tampa Bay area like you. But there's a search and rescue here. And a friend of mine or a person I worked with was all into the search and rescue thing. And the problem came where the guy who started it wanted control of everything. Don't look that way. Do it this way. And it became a problem and they disbanded it. But towards the end, it was all volunteers. But towards the end, they were getting grants from the police department, you know, money back for that stuff. So there is money that is made for that. And granted, yeah, who doesn't want to do what they love and get paid for it, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
Granted, but I feel like they were wrong. They should have waited longer. They wanted to push out. We found the car in Kylie right away.
They did find the
I
car.
think they could have done it without the tow truck driver, though, because again, it just
No, because they're sensationalizing. They're making it was for clicks and views. They were like, you know, granted they found her. Yeah, that's great and all. But
Yeah,
I
but the
feel like
tow
she
truck
would have
guy
been
came
found.
up to them, though,
yeah,
dude.
the tow truck driver came up to them and
Well, I know
and
he's a
about the
longtime
story.
supporter and subscriber is what they said too at the beginning of the video. So I mean, it's just so random that they used it. They may not know that guy. They may not say, "Hey, we brought this guy in to make this video and to do that," but they deviated from their normal protocol. They're the best. They say it every freaking
Yes, Ryan, Betty, and this Packless Jones was on panel.
time. We're the
Exactly.
best.
That's why they did what they did, bro.
And they
If someone
deviated.
comes out of
Why?
nowhere and says, "Hey, I know stuff about this girl," they're gonna be like, "What the hell's this guy talking about?" Both those guys were in the military. They know how to pick up on when somebody's bullshitting. Why? Because they're pretty damn good at psychology, depending on what their ranking is, what they've been, where they've done, who they worked with. Which a lot of them guys work with the CIA when they're overseas, and they have to know this stuff. So when someone does pull up like that, claiming to know information, they are going to talk to them to get them to talk to say information that they might not have known before they could pass on to the police, since they do work with the police.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. They all the crap they talk and they deviate from their normal protocol. The last thing they heard, she partied at the reservoir. Her phone pinged right next to the water. That, I mean, hello, you're a search and rescue water person. You're not going to go there, and you say you go there every time. That's what they do. That's their protocol. And for some random dude to come in, and I don't care how good of a story it was, it doesn't matter. You would say yes, you would file that under yes, we would do that, but you're going to go to the first place and look. And I feel with all the droughts
They're
out there,
wanting that. That's not the. I understand that, but here's the thing: if you're going to catch a criminal, you have to work from the outside in. They started at the outside lakes and worked their way in.
But they would.
And not only that,
You
but
can
we
ask
also
them
have to
straight
take,
up.
hold on, Jones. This is another thing. We also have to take into consideration that they have never worked an active case before. This is an active case. This was their very first. All their cases that they've done in the past have been 20 or 30 years old. I mean, something decades old cases that they don't really get a whole lot of media following them around. Like here, they were kind of, in my opinion, a little bit of like fish out of water in a sense, because they were working an active crime scene and they're not wanting to step on the toes of law enforcement. And that was my understanding.
And by the way, Betty was pretty good from what I heard in this for the phone call. But to answer something, J Money, you're wrong though. He hasn't been on point since the very beginning, which is fine. A lot of us are wrong about a lot of things. But he's putting innocent families that are mourning the death of their child, and all he's doing is hurting them again and again and again. That's where their problem is.
Understanding as to what made them kind of look at those outer lakes first. It was out
That
of
doesn't make
respect.
sense. That doesn't make sense. They deviated from their normal protocol, like they always say that they do. The last king was there. I live in Florida, like I said. I didn't find that out till like 4 or 5 days after this happened. The first thing I heard was she was at a party here, and her phone pinged right next to the water. I mean, hello. And they didn't close down the waterway or nothing. They didn't close down any of that when they were searching or anything.
I'm pretty sure they did, but they did their searches. Law enforcement did their searches, my understanding, weeks earlier out there than when Adventures with Purpose came out there. And we still have to take into consideration that, again, this was a situation that they had never been in. And sometimes you've got to adjust, like if you have a protocol that you take when situations are X, Y, Z, and you have a situation that's A, B, and C, you've got to be able to adjust your abilities to work around A, B, and C as opposed to X, Y, Z.
No, I understand that somewhat, but like I said, the way they talk, this is what we do. We do it.
Can I
better
ask
than
you something,
everyone.
Jones?
We do it at the same time, every time. And then they deviated for some random guy, man. I mean,
Hey, Jones, can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
What does it matter? They found the car.
Well, I'm just saying, like when you look at the video, they're embellishing just like the other people. Look, why not wait a few weeks and let the reward money go up? Let Ryan put up his Hellcat.
Because they're not about money, man.
They never closed down the thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. Yeah, I agree with Ryan on this. I don't think it's a money thing for them because again, they turn down
everyone.
Not necessarily.
Okay, I'm going to address this one more time. AWP needs money to survive. AWP does this for a higher power, for a higher picture. They have an end goal. They've discussed it, that their end goal is to be in every single police department, train every single FBI agent, train every dive team in America. That's their goal. Doug talked about it. In order for them to produce Hollywood-style videos, like I read on another panel today, they need money. In order to pay this incredible team they have, they need money. In order to give families, free services, they need money. No matter how, any way you slice it, they need money. So to say that they're not about money, yes, they are. Because if they don't get the money from YouTube, they're going to have to get it from a bank. They don't want to have to be in debt $5 million to a bank or $1 million a year or whatever it is. Because they're not really making, it's not like you start a business and you know that you're going to make money on it. So therefore you can pay back the money and you're going to turn a profit. They don't know that. So they're getting as much stuff as they can now so they don't have to charge the actual families. So when people say, oh, they're not in this for, yes, they are, because they need to pay their teams. Will they ever charge the families? Hopefully not. Hopefully they never will. But they have to put themselves in that type of position to get there, to get where only the police pay them or the FBI pays them or the government pays them. Or, after YouTube pays them. Because YouTube's not going to last forever. YouTube's, average life of a YouTuber is 10 years. So if you're on top of the world, it's not going to last for 20 years. They don't have 20 years. So they're trying to get as much as they can now, as much clout as they can now, as much oomph as they can now. So this way, in, let's say 2 years from now, they'll have the government paying, they'll have the FBI paying, they'll have police, teams paying, they'll have dive teams paying. All those people are going to pay, but they have to get there first. And they're never going to get there by not putting together top-of-the-line videos. It takes money to make money. You can't just have nothing and put together bullshit videos and then expect to get top-of-the-line people hiring you. It doesn't happen. So when people say, oh, they're not effort, yes, they are. It may not be in the same way Bullhorn is trying to make $1,200 for a trip to Idaho. It's different than that. But yes, they are in this for money. Yes, they need to make a lot of money. Because if they make a lot of money and they get as much clout as possible, then they can put it towards their bigger purpose, which is training everybody. So keep that in mind.
We like to make money. For me, I would like to make money, but there's months that I go here where I barely have enough money just to make my bills. It doesn't stop me from doing the job that I do and doing. Because
you love it.
Well,
because you love doing it.
Yeah.
Well, how did we go from everything's about a GoFundMe and making money, and then when I mentioned everyone else is trying to make money off this, it's not right.
I think Ryan's thing was it's other people. Adventures with Purpose didn't set up any of the GoFundMe's. They're not, I think he's referring to. I shouldn't speak for you, Ryan. You answer that.
Oh no, you actually, no, you're right.
Well, they don't have to set it up. They would make more money by not doing that.
What is with the money though? I don't understand what you're saying. The car was found. The cops didn't find it. They found it. What's the issue?
The issue is the video.
Sticky, I totally agree with you. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with who they are. I don't know why everybody's got a problem with it. Like, I'm not saying there's a problem with it. There's no problem with it. There's no problem with the paywall. There's no problem with them making money. They need money to produce the videos they produce. That's just the way it is. Like, there's no other choice. Thank you, my biggest fan. Ryan jumps from live to live. Fell asleep on one this morning, and they kept him up there. Unreal. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. As you guys know, super chats, super stickers, keep this channel going.
That they did, and they deviated from their plan. Initially, they would have found the car like that day if they would have went out there and did the ping. But instead, they went for this false guy. Anyways, it doesn't matter with AWP. They may or may not be involved. Like I said, I don't think
they're definitely
was
not
initially. But when Ronnie came in and said that, And then Ryan got involved. Everyone's thinking, oh man, this is great for clicks and views. This is great for that and everything. That's why everyone's covering this thing. It's the same with everything. It could be a big conspiracy where she's faking all that stuff, but it doesn't mean that all these other people were not jumping on the bandwagon and on the sugar train and trying to get money and exploit this is what they're doing. And
well, what you consider exploiting, I consider exposure. Like if everybody just stayed away from true crime and didn't bother covering these cases, what's the point? Their faces would not be anywhere because everybody's been ran off YouTube because everybody thinks they're pieces of crap because they follow the rules and have a monetized account while they cover these cases.
Ooh, I like Bullhorn Betty, bro.
But it's not. But she's like you said, she's already found now. So what's the point? We don't know.
We don't know. Story. I mean, when we go out to Summer Wells case, when we go out to the Summer Wells case, you know, she's still not found, but we still show our searches. We still, you know, we still have Olivia present these big, beautiful productions of our documentaries to go out there to show you the work that we did, because at the end of the day, it's the people that sponsor us. If I went out there to these things and took people's money to go out here, you know what the haters would say? The haters would say Andrew just took a vacation on the backs of her supporters. If I didn't produce the production, if I didn't produce the videos showing the work that we did, the hours of work, us getting up at 4:30 in the morning and not going to bed until midnight at night, if we didn't show that to our audience, they wouldn't bother sponsoring $1 to help us go to these places to search for these kids.
Well, that's another thing. Well, that's another thing too. You know, you're playing like everyone gets mad when I say stuff like this, and they're like, you're trolling. It's not. It's like I'm not going to say, like Ryan says, he's not going to say what everybody wants to hear. But I feel like so many creators are saying or bringing false stories into this saga just because they know people are going to be like, oh my God, just like when Ryan says she's not real.
Thank you, Brown-Eyed Girl. The problem is the two POSPIs keep throwing shade at AWP and trying to turn them into monsters while they play poor victims. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. Totally agree.
Everyone flips the heck out, but everything else, we love you, but that's a little too far.
They disagree with it though. They can disagree.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People know, the creators know not to go too far, and they know what's going to sell and what's going to get them the money and get the viewers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And
there are truly people out there on YouTube that are all about the money. I mean, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that there's people that aren't about driving a narrative to pad their pockets. This is YouTube.
Thank you so much, Yarn. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying look at that scenario.
Oh, you guys didn't hear my woo woo.
What I'm saying, and then you can look at like the Ronnie Jones, Ickmill, Xana May thing. You know, she's trying to start a YouTube channel, you know, to get clicks and views. She has some Ukraine family in Ukraine that they're trying to get over here and stuff with another GoFundMe. It was on a regular news channel. I mean, it's all about just getting them exposure and getting them out there. And all you have to do is, and then you side with the masses, and then everyone's like, you're the best, and then you can go from there. Granted, like you're taking that money and doing something, going, you know, feet on the ground and looking for the stuff and, you know, doing a nice production and doing a documentary about. Not everybody's doing that. They're just clicking the next story, and this sells, and they know this was going to sell. They knew this was going to sell. They care less if they found a girl. They loved when it was speculation. And like I said, you can have 50 reasonable stories, but it takes, you're like, if this happens, it could be this. If this happens, you know what? It could be an accident and there's no if involved. She could be drunk. She could not be drunk. She could be just an accident. It's an accident. That's why they call it an accident.
So she didn't drive the car from the back seat, fam.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like. You had me.
That's the only thing, though. That's the only thing that takes away from the accident thing. But I could, like I said, there's a theory how she got back there. I can tell you right now. She went in about 20 miles an hour. The car started to sink because a couple of the windows were down, and it did the front. It didn't do a front flip. It did a kind of a roll. The last air pocket is in the back of the car because the back of the car is still up in the air a little more than the front as it's sinking. Even if it did a roll, it still goes first.
The roll happened, she'd have had to swim on the
dude, have you ever seen the videos of these people, like the news people or whoever, that try to do this with air mask on? You hit the water, it's pitch black at night. You don't know what's going on. And like I heard another person the other day, I don't know if it was on here on Dolly Show, but they talked about surfing. If you're surfing, you ever get knocked off the wave and push under and hit the ground, you're like, you don't know which way's up sometimes if it's that deep out there, you know. And when I did it, I used to surf all the time. You hold your breath and you start to float up. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that happens. And if she was impaired at all, you throw everything out the window. Your mind is gone. There's no way that you could say, "Hey, I practiced this."
Yeah, there's no way I can. There's no model that can prove to me that a person can go from the front of that car at the driver's seat to the very back to the trunk portion of their car with the car upside down. They would have been floating on the floor where everything's attached to the car.
That's what everyone's saying.
Sleep back there. or she was placed back there. Something bad happened to that little girl, whoever that little girl may be. But something bad.
See, and again, that's irresponsible. That's like saying that Candace and Don are guilty of killing their child. You can't say that it's definitely murder, because it's not. It could have been an accident. And that's what I mean about speculation. There's a difference between speculation and stating something as fact. We may think that it was murder, but there's no proof it was murder yet. We don't have murder. We don't know what happened. But whether it's murder or whether it's an accident, either way, something happened to her, which disproves that she's living in Fiji somewhere with Gabby, which is the point I'm trying to bring out.
That happened to her, and we need to find out what.
Well, that would be, I mean, honestly, okay, this is my rebuttal for this whole be in the back thing. Why would someone push her in the back of the car? You would seatbelt her in the front seat, make it look like she was driving at the very least. That blows everyone's theory about this not being an accident out of the water with her being back there like that. Because why would you
how
do
do you
that?
propose that a child, a 16-year-old child that's not almost 6 foot tall, 5'9", can go from the front seat to the back seat underwater with the car flipping? I'm curious how you
because
think.
the air is in the back of the car as it's sinking, as it's filling up with water. The water's rushing in the window. You think a 110-pound girl is going to be able to push against that water out the window?
No, but I guarantee that the water's not going to push her clean from the front to the back.
No, but she's battling, trying to get out the window or trying to do something. The last air pocket is there. It's so reasonable. That's what blows my mind. And if someone
on the floor.
But if you're you're making these people seem like they're geniuses and all this stuff. They wouldn't put her in the back and they pushed her in the
They would
thing.
strap her in the front seat to make it look like she drove herself into the lake. If they were geniuses, that's what they would have done.
You're wrong. She was not tucked in the back. Her legs were stretched out by the window. He looked in the window. Her foot in her leg was next to the window. So she wasn't tucked in the back. Everybody thinks she was in this fetal position. She wasn't. If you watch the video, and I'll show it again, but if you watch the video, it shows that he looks in a window on the side, the back window that's open, and states, I see a shoe, like her shoe, and it's up against the window. That's pretty important.
They were definitely not geniuses. I agree with you 100% there.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't they do it? It makes no sense. The only logical explanation that I heard someone say about this that would make me believe that it wasn't an accident and that she was back there when the car went in the lake is if other people were driving the car and they wrecked into the lake and she was messed up, passed out in the back, and then they all jumped out of the car and she didn't get out. That would be the only plausible reason that you.
And I realized I was on mute for that whole thing. Okay. What I'm saying is that everyone's talking about her being, thank you guys. Everyone's talking about her being in a fetal position. The only people that saw her was AWP and, the police and stuff. Nobody has talked about it. Nobody has said what position she was in, if she was up, face down, in a fetal, but everyone's just throwing out baseless rumors and nobody has said it. Nobody has said that that's what's going on. So I don't know why people are automatically assuming she was tucked in a ball. She wouldn't have made it tucked in a ball. She wouldn't have stayed in that position. She was rushing in. There was water rushing in, and I just don't think she would have, she wouldn't have moved. Thank you so much, Allie. She wouldn't have moved. So that's why it's all up for speculation. Oh, that Justin guy started that. Thank you. If she was not dead already, she could have been dead. She might not have been dead. She could have died swimming in the back. I don't know. Do I think it was murder? Yeah. I think she was either dead prior or something. But I'm not going to say she was definitively murdered and I know it's murder. No, I don't know it's murder. Freaky things happen. Can I say definitively it was an accident? No, freaky things happen. People need to remember that. Fucked up things happen. Weird things happen. Crazy things happen. But the odds of other people all in the car while she was dead and then jump out and run it is ludicrous. It doesn't even make logic. Like, people need to start using more logic. Just my opinion.
That she would be back there if people... Because
you do understand
any bit of time, and these people are talking
still, that's still homicide. That's
well,
still,
I know that.
That's still manslaughter. That's still vehicular homicide. No matter how you flip it, somebody killed that girl.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That would be the only reason that I would say that it wouldn't be an accident. Would be that reason. And like I said, you could have. I could tell you, I have a little car like that too, where that little SUV where the roof is low. I've been camping 100 times. I crawled through the back 100 times. And
yeah,
I'm a
without
big boy,
water
man.
flooding in. I mean,
you know.
I think that I think you're kind of onto something, but I think you have it just slightly off, just a little bit though. But anyways, Jones, I appreciate you coming on. I've got people all up in the backstage, and
all right, so that's what I wanted to show you from there. Jumped out of a car. It's harder. That's what I'm saying. Like. But I do agree with a lot of what that caller was saying. That's why I played it. And I was listening. I was like, you know what? I kind of agree with this guy. I do. I don't agree with everything. Hey, Tiff, I don't agree with everything, but I agree with a lot of it. Actually, Kate, thank you, Daisy. Super sticker train. Woo, woo. Chugga, 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 chugga. Woo, woo. All right, there's something else that I want to show you guys. What was it? Ugh, I forgot. Did I have it queued up? Oh, I know where it was. Hold on. Okay.
Welcome back.
All right, you know how I was saying that it's like damn near impossible to get a clear understanding of what Nick saw because it wasn't upside down and people you have to watch it upside down. Well, someone made a video of it upside down and I think it puts more things into perspective. So I'm going to show it to you guys.
I am Circlebox. I took the video footage from AWP of the car footage of Kiely Rodni's car and I flipped it upside down so it makes it a lot easier to see.
I see the vehicle and the license plate. We have just found Kiely's vehicle over.
10-4. Do a full assessment methodically, slowly. Make sure you focus on footage of the vehicle so that we can accurately relay that to the authorities.
The vehicle is upside down. I repeat, it is upside down. I'm at the rear of the vehicle now, working my way around towards the driver's side. Over.
10-4. I read you loud and clear.
Now, as you can see, the driver's side window is intact and it is all the way up. Just wanted to point that little piece out right there because there was a lot of confusion from the beginning of this. So the back driver's window is rolled halfway down, as you can see.
Cannot positively identify anybody inside yet. I'm looking in the back now.
10-4. Take your time. Be safe.
Now, what you're getting ready to see, points out on the back driver's side window, he sees a pair of shoes sticking towards the back window. I believe they might have blurred that out.
I see a pair of shoes in the back. I'm moving my way towards the back window.
Alright, what you're about to see is pretty crazy. They do blur this out. Her body is inside the back small window right here. They did confirm it and did blur it out of respect for Kiely and the family.
And just confirm there are human remains in the vehicle. Over.
10-4.
So as you can see, both rear windows have been rolled halfway down. You know, with me flipping the footage around like I did, I think it makes it a whole lot easier for us to be able to really see the vehicle, you know, right side up, because it's not normal you see a vehicle upside down.
Rear driver's side window is halfway down.
Copy that. Rear driver's side window is down.
Find the line and return top side.
God bless. Bless others.
So that was an easier way to see it with it upside down. And one more thing. His face does explain it all. I agree. Wasn't that good? Like upside down? I agree. Yeah, both rear windows were halfway down. Now, I will tell you this much, and I know everyone thinks, oh, there must have been someone in the back seat. There are many, many, many times that I go to roll down my window and I end up rolling down the back instead of the front. So I don't know how the CRV windows are. I don't know, you know, if she can make that mistake as easily as I do. But in a panic, you're going underwater, it would not surprise me if she opened the back windows instead of the front windows. Now, does that explain why the side window was busted out? No. Does that explain anything else? No. Just looking at it from a logical standpoint, it is possible that she accidentally went to roll down the front windows and accidentally rolled down the back and realized that she rolled down the back and, maybe thought she didn't open up anything and realized the front was still locked, so she tried to get in the back. It's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it is possible. And people need to remember that. Exactly. Sometimes I wouldn't do it at night, but I watched that, Wendy, but I absolutely believe that she could have easily rolled down the wrong windows and went to crawl back, and we know what happened. So that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that it's probable, but it's definitely possible. All right. So there's another video that was sent to me. I have not watched it yet. We're going to watch it for the first time together. If it sucks, then we won't watch it. But this is the one Willow is talking about. Whoop. Willow, what email did you send it to? Yeah, I roll down the wrong window all the time, too. Hold on.
And then it flips over like that.
Brian, I have no idea if this was the person. I mean, he looks like Jagger. No clue, though. And I don't know who this Sammy Bono person is that everyone keeps talking about. Besides probably a drug dealer. Willow, what email did you send it to? There it is. You never roll down the wrong window? I do it all the time. If anybody needs me to check out a car, I now have a 3-month subscription to bumper.com. So if you need me to run a VIN number for you, let me know.
So as we all know, this is not normally how I do this, but in light of some things that I've recently just heard and watched, I kind of felt I wanted to put this out there before I went to bed. The sun is coming up, so this is probably going to be a little... Get right into it before I pass. Truckee, California native, aware of this story. Sadly, she has been located. Obviously not the conclusion anybody wanted. However, I guess it does provide some closure for the family. She was found a few days ago
Just
in
Vin.
a collaborative effort between local law enforcement cases, usual, and just yesterday, even I made reference to people putting things behind paywalls. Look, everybody has to make money. Everybody has to be able to fund these operations. I totally understand that. But I think you have to also understand that when you're dealing with subject matter such as this, with missing persons, you have to be very, very careful how and what grab very greedy message. Most of which who will hashtag Summerwell's name 100 on a panel that I've watched. And that is, we are here for the we're portion. We are not part of, doesn't matter. For them to put out a video, it obviously, there is some time sensitive. A time sensitive issue. There's a sense of urgency that matters. Obviously, with what AWP does, not so much. Multitude of scrutinies right now by various other creators. In fact, I was just watching some replays of a few AWP pieces and appearances on other panels, and we keep hearing the question about no, and what we the general public are privy to. I don't see any real reason to think that there's anything other than a tragic accident here. But obviously, a lot of people, tones of malice to this. A supplier of alcohol and narcotics to them. Who knows? I do think that there could be some arrests in relation to this, but there's been a large rumor mill circulating to the effect of local law enforcement trying to deter AWP from searching in specific places that they searched. Again, another paraphrase, but basically, don't look here. We've already searched there. Trust me, fine-tooth comb, it's clean. No car, no missing girl. Ultimately, AWP goes to said location. And
all right, I'm going to address this for a second because I've heard this before, so I'm going to address it. The police have no reason not to find Kiely. Maybe they wanted extra overtime, I don't know, but they got paid enough. They have absolutely zero reason, and I mean zero, to perform a cover-up that don't search here, we've already searched here, don't find her. If that was the case, they would have cut off the water. They would have said they could never search there and that there's no point in searching because it's blocked off. So now they can't. If it was a conspiracy, I don't even need to listen anymore. If it was a conspiracy and the cops were behind it, they would have never let them look in it in the first place. So that right there tells you it was not a conspiracy. They just felt confident that they had dive teams and they have every, they've already been there, so look other places. Why go over the same place twice? But again, if they felt confident in their searches, but if there was a conspiracy, if there was something hidden, if there was some major investigation, major conspiracy going on, and they were trying to hide it, they would have blocked off the waters, and AWP couldn't do a damn thing about it. If the cops or FBI said, you're not searching here, it's dangerous, whatever, then they wouldn't have searched. So that rules out any kind of conspiracy that the cops didn't want them there. Because guys, remember, you can put a conspiracy behind anything. You can make something out of nothing anytime you choose. There just comes a point where you have to use rationale. And rationale will tell you that if there really was some big conspiracy, they would have blocked off the water to begin with, and AWP never would have gone in there at all. So, but I will give you guys the link. Hold on. But I definitely will give you the link. But I told you guys, I am not one for conspiracies. And not even conspiracy. I'm not one for circumstantial. Did I? Oh, no, I did the wrong link. Whoops. Someone hit that link and see if it opens up all my email. Because that would be pretty funny. Hold on.
And I'll be damned.
All right. Here is the link for the video. I suggest everyone go watch it. I'll probably watch it later. Play the end. All right, I'll play the end.
Again, I just felt it was worth noting. There's a lot of different names in this, which surely some of them are still around. I could be wrong. This wasn't that long ago. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. This could have nothing to do with anything. It could be absolute shit to do with this case. Again, I just felt it was worth noting. I've seen one other channel.
Barry wasn't the only person aware of these allegations.
What do you mean? Let's know what you want. What do you want to keep your mouth shut?
Yeah, I've talked about this already. This is when the guy got in trouble. I forgot the guy's name. When he got arrested for this has nothing to do with anything. This was a couple of years ago. I've already been through this. It has nothing to do with anything. It certainly has nothing to do with Kiely. There were 300 a party of police and not individuals. It's a brotherhood. And yes, it is a brotherhood. But I go back to, so is the Catholic Church. But I don't see anybody worried about that. I don't see people not being Catholic because of the Catholic Church. And that is the biggest business there is, with the most insane cover-ups there were. And you don't see people not being Catholics. Same thing. Same mentality. Brian, I go back to my Catholic analogy. Same thing. Show me where it's different. It's not. Conspiracy never works when it's more than a handful of people involved. I agree. You do see a lot of people leaving the church, and you see a lot of cops leaving. But exactly, you can find good and bad in everything. Ellie could manipulate the team without telling the story. Absolutely, they could. If they wanted to, they could. Constrained, not one glass shard anywhere in sight. Well, we don't know that, though. We don't know if there was glass on the bottom of the sea, ocean, bottom of the lake. We don't know. Nick didn't, that report hasn't been out yet. How is it? Because they're off at college? And they, you know, honestly, they may not have seen anything. Like I said this yesterday and I mean it. Who's to say that she, let's say, was laying down and relaxing before she drove home? Who's to say some crazy guy didn't come and do this to her? The people at the party may not have seen anything. They really may not have. Kids at the party might be totally innocent. And what if some guy did it? What if some random camper did it? What if someone from Boca did it? Think about it. You never know. The window could have easily broken when it was flipping around the water. No, it was broken. Oh, you mean when it was going down? That's true, too. We don't know. The kids haven't talked. Good point. Olivia, that I believe is a lie. But again, I thought Sammy was lying from jump. You disagree about what, Carolyn? About that it could be some random person? That's true too, Amanda. There's bad Ellie everywhere. Hey, Whistle Down. She could have just drove off, tried to sober up, put the car in the wrong gear, rolled into the water. It's possible too. Who say the cops aren't being honest about them speaking for new leads? Good point. And we don't know about that fight either. Because again, we know Sammy's lied. That we know. There's no arguing that. Sammy lied. So if Sammy lied, how can you believe anything she says? Think about it. How are you going to believe half of what she says and then not believe the other half? It doesn't make sense. Allegedly, Jagger was not in Truckee. And then I heard somebody say that Nate walked by in that interview. Nobody walked by in that interview. I watched it like 19 times. Nobody walked by. Sammy was driving Escape. That's about nah. What do you think the relevance PSCO on August 11th? Looking for necklaces and info if anyone had seen them. Could be that when the fight, when there was an argument or something, maybe one of her necklaces was found. Maybe somebody told her that her necklace fell off or that her necklace was gone. I don't know. I mean, logically, the answer to that is that someone said that Kiely had a fight, or let's say she wore 3 necklaces, one was gone. I don't know. Because if you put together a story, you hear her lies. Starting with the first lie of, I spoke to her at 12:36 when a phone went off at 12:33. The last ping was 12:33 by the lake. She then says that she heard them talk she heard the party behind them. From where the phone ping was, you wouldn't have heard the party behind her. Sammy lied. I mean, it's not even up for debate. She lied. I found what I believe lies from Sammy, but we don't know. Three minutes is still a lie. Her whole story didn't make sense. And she also said that she would have been behind, that she heard the party behind her. You wouldn't have heard the party from where her phone ping was. Her phone ping was right by the water. And Gigi, I'm not answering you anymore unless you want to pay me. I'm just going to ignore you. At the end, you hear her say to him, I'm going to kick your dick with my shoe. Huh? I am too, Willow. But there's corruption everywhere. Very true, Amber. You're right about that. Sammy came in looking at the clock. No, because you want to know why that theory doesn't hold true? I'm going to show you why. If someone asks me what time somebody called, I'm going to look at my calls, recent, I'm going to say, oh, Mom called me Tuesday at, oh, look, there's an outgoing call at 12:32 p.m. There's an incoming call at 12:29 p.m. And there's another incoming call at 12:23 p.m. Well, what does that tell me? That tells me exactly what time she called. Because it's not like Sammy then corrected it. Sammy never corrected it. She let everyone run with 12:36. Nobody ever corrected it except the police. So it does make a difference. Oh, Willow, don't feel bad about it. I'm just saying I covered that already. It's not hard to, and the police do have that one, juror. That's why they went live and specifically stated, hey, we do not, her last ping was 12:33. They didn't say, and Sammy got a call wrong. They didn't say Sammy read her phone wrong. What they actually said, and I'll quote this almost verbatim, is we don't know who the last person she spoke to was. We have not been able to verify who the last person she spoke to was. This was a few days after Sammy. So that tells you right there that Sammy's phone didn't match up with the bullshit that came out of her mouth. That's also when Sammy clammed up. Right after that is when Sammy never said another word. Exactly, Olivia. Exactly. The police never gave the precise time of 12:33 until after Sammy's interview where she said 12:36. Prior to that, it had been vague, saying the last phone ping was around 12:30. It absolutely makes a difference. It's not a matter of the 3 minutes. It's just a matter of you would look at your phone. You would be able to see your phone. Sammy has not said one word since law enforcement came out and said that. Ghost, I agree. You're absolutely right. They can check people's phones. And that's when they came back and said, her last known ping was at 12:33 in a specific spot. And we do not know why, we do not know who the last person she spoke to was. This was after Sammy already ran her mouth. Maybe. They did say that. They were very, very specific as to how they said it. Very specific. Told Sammy was asked to stop public speaking on this case. Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. Oh, I'm sure they did. I don't even think that was recent. I'm sure they did that immediately. Hey, Bridget, I would imagine they did that immediately. Unless they gave him up willingly. They could have given him up willingly. They absolutely could have given them phone, willingly. He probably called her. Also, do not know if Sammy was going. She never did. Everything got hush-hush after the cops said that. Hey, Carolyn, thank you. If everyone involved were not teenagers, would an accident still be an option for you? Yeah, absolutely. Well, it depends how big or small they were. If they're a 6'4", 250-pound guy in a hatchback, no, definitely not. But a 5'7", 115-pound girl, possibly. I wish I knew someone with that car, because I'd have to see if Sage could climb back there. Yeah, I don't believe that PI at all. Yeah, he didn't pay Sammy. You're right about that, Phil. They can just get the entire tower records from subpoena to the tower owner, shows all numbers that came through. Selma has requested this for Jalissa. You can sit back there, no problem. No, I'm saying climb in the back. All the way in the back. They're saying it's tight for someone 5'7" and 115 pounds. If I was Kyle's mom, I'd be screaming at this kid, speak up. Maybe they have, though. Just because law enforcement isn't telling us doesn't mean that they haven't. I'm 5'1" and I can't do it. Interesting. Sammy stated Kylie was drunk and insinuated that she called her again. Like she didn't remember the initial combo. Exactly. None of what Sammy said made sense. 6'1", 210 sits in mine. You can fit in the back, no problem? So that's interesting. So two guy could figure out what day he was there. Yeah, what do we think? I got like 10 minutes left, and then I got to go. But what do we think about the tow truck guy? Has anyone changed? Anyone's mind changed about the tow truck guy? I don't know how I feel. The more and more I hear, I think he's full of shit. I really do. Like, what does my gut tell me? My gut tells me that he has the wrong people. Not saying that something like that didn't happen, but that he identified the wrong people. Mistaken identity, exactly. Is a fan who inserted himself. Not much different than Ronnie. Phil, I agree with that too. Danny, I'm with you there. All right, I'm going to do a short poll. All right, there you go. 10-minute poll. Well enough sure at some point the police had to get that footage off the guy's car. That's what I'm saying. There's never been an arrest. There hasn't been an arrest made. We just don't know. Who's our age, Janelle? You said the cops blew him off. There's a reason for that. Thank you. Wait, Coffee, where'd you hear that, by the way? I agree with that too. It's a different location. You know, if she was found in Boca, I think the tow truck driver would be a lot more important, but they weren't at Boca. So I really truly believe that they put him in there for sensationalism, and that's not a bad thing, but he added another layer to the case, more skepticism to the case, and it sells the story more. Sexy stories sell, any way you put it. The more conspiracy it looks like, the more interesting it is, the more you can wrap your head around it. That's what sells. That's why people are buying it. That's why people want it. Everyone was talking about tow truck driver. That's why nobody wanted to wait until Friday to watch the videos, so everybody bought memberships. It's plain business 101, honestly. But you have to understand, I'm going to say this again, and I mean this wholeheartedly. If AWP put this guy in there for editing purposes, and they claim they believe him, and they put him in there, there's no other reason for them to put him in there than to sell a story. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone seems to think that I mean that in a negative way. I don't. I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it in a reality. That's business. You know, you don't see, no matter who it is, you see Dateline. They put in, you know, they give you a commercial for Dateline or 2020. They give you the most intense part. You watch a movie. You watch a coming attraction for a movie. They put in the best part. Or they, you know, leave you in a cliffhanger. Because that's what people want. That's how you sell something. So for anyone to think like I'm saying something negatively, no, it's the reality. People need to realize that AWP is selling a story, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's what they do. Any single person that edits a video on YouTube is selling a story, you know. And why do you put pictures in? Why do you edit a certain way? Why don't you just leave it a big old jumbled mess? Because you want people to watch it, and you want people to wait more than, you know, watch more than the first 10, 15 minutes. So you make a 45-minute video, well, you got to keep them interested. You got to put something at the end. It's standard editing, standard business. I don't know why people think that people say it's wrong. It's not wrong. It's just business. Exactly. Business is business. People don't work for free. Hey, B. Crunk. But I just don't get why everybody makes it out like it's such a bad thing. I will, Tiva. I'm getting off in a minute. I have to pick up Phoenix. And whether the tow truck guy lies or doesn't lie, okay, that's personal opinion. We won't know until it comes out. He could have helped anybody. I mean, I honestly don't think he made up an entire story because it's all on video. So I have a hard time believing that he would make up this entire story. And Doug and Nick were definitely in touch with, they have their own law enforcement agents, so they could have checked out, yeah, this guy, there is a video of him helping somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Nobody said she was wearing hiking boots. Oh my God, Acadian, you're wrong. There is something called selling a story. That's why they pay a really good team to edit. That's why they pay people to have the best cameras. That's why they pay people to have the best equipment. They don't do it because they're not trying to sell a story. They do it because they want to sell a story. They didn't get 2 million followers because they don't know what they're doing. And they certainly don't run their YouTube channel like a business if they didn't know what they were doing and they didn't follow Business Rules 101. So anyone that thinks they do this for fun and that it's not a business to them, you need your head examined because they absolutely follow business rules. It just blows my mind when people think that they just do this for free and it's not a business. It is a business and they have to follow business rules. Plain and simple. And anyone that thinks otherwise, you're sadly mistaken. My theory on what? My theory on what? Tow truck driver did get them in the wrong lake. That he did. No, that's mine. They have costs. They have to make money. They absolutely do. Mm-hmm. All right. Bridget, thank you. AWP is a brilliant job. They're a brilliant team, and they do a lot of good. But it is a business. They have to make a living, too. Absolutely. And Tinker, I agree with that, too. It could be as simple as misidentification. But he basically named Jagger. He did. He literally basically said it was Jagger. And it could have been Jagger the next day. It could have been Jagger and Kate. But it wouldn't have been Kiely's car. AWP emailed us and me and asked for suggestions on lakes. I and many others told them Donna and Boca. How did AWP get your email? Maybe she was going to be dumped in Boca, thinking no one would look there, but changed their mind after tow truck driver had to come. No. Well, maybe. I can't say no. I think you can make a living without being a liar or a dirtbag. The video was going to get views anyway. The video gets millions of views as it. Don't feed the wolves for money. It's not feeding the wolves for money. I don't know how else I can explain this. Like, I really don't. I don't know what everyone is missing. Like, I just don't get why people are missing my point. Everybody sells a story. Everybody edits a video to make it sound better. Everyone will throw stuff in to make it more exciting. That's movie making 101, documentary making 101. It's just the way it is. HBO does. Everybody does it. Why is it any different than what I'm saying AWP is doing? It's not. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them wrong. It doesn't make them exploiting anything. It's the same thing as every other movie, every other documentary, everything else you see. How do you compare AWP and Ryan Upchurch? Oh my God. I can't with this. I can't. Thank God I'm getting off in a minute. How you can compare the two, that's like comparing apples and quiche. I mean, that's how far apart they are. Apples and bacon. Oranges and bacon. That's what you're doing. Absolutely ridiculous. So Popcorn Planet's making bank off Gabby's death. I didn't see anyone going at them. Popcorn Planet's a movie channel, and they're making plenty of money off cases. Plenty. How come you're not saying anything to them? They never move. AWP actually found her. They're not making tons off of it. They're not making a fortune. They didn't want to go find an active case. If it gets them to the next level, then so be it. So it gets them to the next level. Good for them. People, you got to stop looking at things like just serious. Exactly. I agree. They're not creators of true crime. They're professionals. You said they need to make money. They do. Explain how making up a story, allude murder during a minor's death. We're talking about lying. What are you talking about? Who's making up a story to allude murder? Now you think AWP is making up a story? No. They're not making up a story. Yeah, but they put it on members only because they do that for every video. This was not any different. I believe they believe the story too. 100%. No, that's not true, Danny. They went to Popcorn Planet just like they went... Notice they only go to big creators, unless they're talking about Jim Terry. They'll only go to channels that have 2,000 people in them. They'll only go to channels with thousands of people in them. Why? Business. A lot of small creators have said a lot of good stuff that if they could have come on their channel, but they didn't. They only chose the biggest channels out there with thousands of people watching. Fact. I mean, honestly, Popcorn Planet is not a true crime channel. They are a pop drama channel and a movie channel. Why would Doug go there? Because they have 700,000 subscribers and they happen to have 8,000 people watching. So there's a really good place to sell a story. And I'm sorry if you don't believe me, but facts are facts. That's not going to change. And I really feel sorry for those that just get, you know, see it differently. Yeah, but they may not have been able to do it on their own. Maybe they were afraid they were going to talk too much. You know, they were going to say too much. That's very possible too. I mean, either, Phil. So phony. So phony. Thank you, Mama Bear. It's almost like you need to play the game to make money so you can do good work. What a shocker. Even good people need to participate in capitalism to do good work. Exactly. Thank you, Allie. AWP have not changed their MO. They're a YouTube dive team who spare families money by publishing videos. Facts. Kiely would still be missing without them, and it's ignorant to suggest they shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do business the way they always have. Excellent, excellent point. And you're right. You're 100% right. They've always done it that way. Nothing has changed. Just because someone doesn't like it doesn't mean it changed. YouTube scared them away? No, it didn't. Ends justify the means. I totally agree with that. 100% agree with that. The ends justify the means. And if this gets them to the next level, then so be it. Good for them. Absolutely, Raina. No, they don't get money too. I never said they made it up. See, this is the last thing I'm going to say. YouTube moderator, you have a problem with not hearing what I say. What I said was the tow truck driver could have made it up. And then I said that AWP put this in there for sensationalism. At no point did I ever fucking say that they lied about it. At no point did I ever say AWP made it up. At no point did I ever say anything close to that. But in your hateful ears, you want to make up shit that was never said. You, my friend, are the problem with YouTube. You are the problem with how things get twisted and how things are said that were never said. Welcome to my life on YouTube. Is for some reason people twist what I say, put words in my mouth that were never fucking said. At no point did I ever say that they made up the tow truck guy for views. Ever. Try again. Never fucking said that at all. Never even said anything close to that. Her friends could interview with AWP or family or coworkers. Or a boss. No one knew her welcomed AWP. Telling his subs not to watch certain other creators and not to donate to them. Who did that, Crimson? Yeah, comprehension. No point did I ever say anything even remotely close. Thank you, Brian. But this is what happens. People just make up shit and they're like, they hear something that was never said. Ever. It's unfucking believable to me. Yes, he's on Queen Bee's channel to talk about Jim Terry. He's never been on there to discuss this. Every time he's been on there, hey, Panda Berry, it's for Jim Terry. And I said that to her, too. Ty fell on his Friday live stream. Jared went there? Am I missing something? What do you mean? Oh. Tyler said it? Really, Crimson? That surprises me. Because I don't know Tyler to do something like that. Who did he say not to donate to? Because that's not like him. Thank you, Bridget. For my life on YouTube, people just twist everything I fucking say and make up shit. And then that gets to somebody else. And then it goes to someone else. Then it goes, it's unreal. AWP are heroes to me. I agree with that. That's what I'm saying, Brian. That's definitely not Tyler. I can't see him saying something like that. $30 minutes. But I gotta put on jeans. He was saying not to watch or donate certain YouTubers. I don't know who, because you went live and I stopped watching. I I don't know. I don't see him do stuff like that. But I'll ask him, because I've never heard him say something like that. No, she didn't ever prove it. I mean, was it somebody like he was fighting with? I don't know. I just don't see him saying something like that. Unless maybe I'm missing something. I am not smoking. That's called a vape. And I never stopped vaping. Believe me, I'll never go back smoking. Ever. What about the cake Arizona tip 10 to life had? Yeah, no. I don't know anything about that. Welcome, Madam Butterfly. And I promise tomorrow we'll do the candle giveaway. I was going to do it later, but I got to take him to the hospital. Because we never went this morning. 3 packs a day. I was like pack and a half. But I wouldn't smoke now. Too expensive. I'm a year and a half now. But no, I'll never give up vape. Nope. Alright, let's see the poll results. Is the roadside assistance guy legit? 20% said totally legit. 18% said wanted his 15 minutes of fame. 47% said unsure. And 15% of AWP says it's legit. Me too. So 20% think it's totally legit. 15% think that since AWP says it's legit, it must be legit. Crazy. Crazy. Sheriff confirmed the roadside guy, didn't they? Absolutely not. Cops blew him off. No, you got to get a vape. I smoked in my house. So, all right, but I got to get out of here. I got to put on jeans, and who knows how long we're going to be at the hospital. Ugh. But I'll let you guys know. Thank you, K9. Maybe some of the people who don't think AWP should pony up the $1 million plus that they need to help their families next year. Thank you. I was going to highlight it. I can't highlight it. She's right. I'm going to read it again. Maybe some of the people who don't think AWP should pony up the $1 million plus that they need to help families the next year. Absolutely. His toe is like all infected or something. And he showed it to me this morning, and it's like all puffy around it. Like he needs it drained or something. So I told him, wake me in the morning. I was up to like 6:30 in the morning. I figured he was going to wake me in an hour, and he never did. So, and you know, the other thing I was thinking too, by the way, as far as AWP goes, you know, at first I thought they were going to milk this interview with the guy. But how are they going to milk a whole month? I mean, everyone's going to be moved on within a month. So I realized that was a dumb theory because they can't. That would be dumb. Yeah, he definitely needs antibiotics. So, okay. I'll see you guys later. I'll post on my community post if he's fine. If I don't get home too late, I may do the candle giveaway tonight. It is for members only. Members, Patreons. So, yeah. So, it will be a members only stream. And you can only win if you're a member. So, there's that. And again, 150 new members this month. And we will do another one at the end of the month. So that's it. All right. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night and peace out. Hopefully I'll be in and out of the hospital. Hopefully. You'll be here. You're not a member, Panda. All right. I'll see you guys later. Peace.